Yeah, hey guys, sorry I'm late. I just fucking internet just really wasn't working. I just what the fuck?
He's back, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Chris, joined by my brothers Adam
Hello.
and Eric.
Hello, I'm back. I got out. I escaped. With
Eric,
no
where were
sleep.
you, man? What happened?
Trapped in a simulation.
Yeah.
Trapped in Devil's Lair and Monica was the mayor. My God. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, you had issues with the computer. Monica took over or something?
Just took over, kept me there, wouldn't let me leave, forced me to play
Oh, man.
chess.
Did you even get to see any of the showcase then? The PlayStation showcase last week?
When I finally figured out how to get rid of her
Yeah.
just in time, then I was able to go, all right, with very little time, then I was able to get some of the showcase. Not the whole thing, so to get
Okay.
rid of her. But yeah, so I got
Well, you might get some of
the
it from me and Adam anyway.
Yeah.
So hello everyone. We're all reunited, and in this week's episode, we're going to be giving our take on the PlayStation Showcase, which was shown last week, or at least a lot of the content from it. And then also towards the end of the podcast episode, we're also going to give our take on the Matrix Resurrections trailer, and then any thoughts that we have towards that. Because it was dropped the very same day, because the Matrix is built around a simulation, and because Eric just got out of one, we are going to give our thoughts on that as well, and we'd love to hear from you guys. So if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to jump down into the comments at any point and share your thoughts on anything from the PlayStation Showcase, either what you saw that you were excited about, or maybe some stuff you were disappointed that you didn't get to see, because there was a lot of people had a lot of speculations leading up to it about what they might finally see, since Sony had been so quiet all summer. And then also thoughts on the Matrix Resurrections. If you have any theories or thoughts on that as well going forward, please do let us know. If you listen to audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take to give your take on everything we bring up here today. But without further ado, let's catch up. So, what just think of the showcase?
Oh, it's great way to keep chip.
Well, you didn't really see it as a showcase. Eric,
No.
you were able to catch-
I only watched. Yeah, I only had time to see whatever YouTube algorithm told me to watch, which was probably just Monica. But
The shame about that as well, though, is that
yeah, I don't get everything.
well, not just that, nothing's a surprise,
Yeah, because the
That too.
thumbnails spoils.
and
it,
there's an element of like, because there was stuff that as it was coming up, like literally as I was watching it, I was like guessing
yeah.
what it was,
Yeah,
and that happened in particular at one point where I was like, oh, okay, so it's that, and I went, that doesn't look like that, and I went, oh shit, it's not that.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a surprise. You know what I mean? And we'll get there as well. But Adams, you did see the showcase, did you? As an actual
Yeah.
thing.
Watch
What did you make of the showcase as a whole?
It was a bit. It was a bit weirdly spaced out and paced. I thought it was almost like as if they were like, here's your kind of canapes of games, and then they kind of went to a point where they went, okay, here's the main meal. And I
Right.
just thought that was really strange in comparison to previous shows. But it was nice to see. It was nice to have somewhat of the vision for them to kind of go, everything you see now is going to be exclusive. That was quite nice. But yeah, I kind of the in between bits, the kind of animations and stuff like that, although kind of cool, they felt uneventful or didn't quite build up a hype as much as like they should have, because some of the game's announcements were actually really good, but the little kind of spacings in between kind of brings down the energy a bit. So I didn't think overall it was a very good showcase, even though the games that were announced were good. If you
Yeah,
know.
I'm in the exact same boat. I think there was a lot of great announcements, some very surprising ones to me that I was like, oh fuck. And then there was some where I was genuinely surprised we didn't see. But we'll get around to that too. And I also was very surprised the way they ended it. I think most people think that was a good way to end it. I personally do not think that was a good way to end it, but I'll get around to the reason why when we get there. But having not heard from Sony all summer, I felt this showcase was a little underwhelming.
Yeah, I think.
I felt like it should have been,
though, isn't it?
I think so, but I also feel like it should have just been bang, 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 bang. And even if you have fuck all to show, which in some of the cases they did anyway, like some of them were just an announcement that this will come someday. Even if you have very little to show, I just would have liked to have seen a bang, bang, bang of like some serious shit. And for quite a lot of it, I was a little bit like, really? you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then when it got good, it got real good. So that's sort of my take on it.
Yeah.
But so Eric, you wouldn't even know what order they released the stuff in, right?
No.
Okay. So I will say I thought it was quite ballsy of them to open with Knights of the Old Republic remake for the PS5.
Which is really interesting considering the original was exclusive to Xbox. And now the remake is exclusive to PS5.
That's why I thought it was ballsy. I actually said it out loud. I was like, oh, fuck, that is fucking ballsy.
Well, it's a time exclusive. It's not
but it's PS5 and PC.
Wait.
It's actually not coming to Xbox.
It will be after a year.
Yeah.
Not to Xbox though.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
They can.
No, they said PS5 and PC.
No, I seen that, and then afterwards it said it's a timed exclusive.
I think that means timed exclusive to PS5 though.
Yeah, exactly.
And then PC.
No, and then to Xbox. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't think they were saying that.
I think that's the way it is.
Either way, it'd be cool to see what they do.
Yeah, I mean,
otherwise, I think it would have been in the half mark. You know, the way there was like that at the halfway point, they kind of just showed exclusives.
Right.
I get what you're saying, but like, I would think that like the likes of Spider-Man and them are never coming to PC.
No, but Uncharted is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I don't know anymore. Okay. Okay, I think you have a point. Were you excited by the Star Wars one?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I've actually never played Code Red. I think I loaded it up once a long time ago, like on the 360. Borrowed it was probably the second one actually.
I think it was the second one we had for 360.
And I actually only did it to test the backwards compatibility side on the 360. So I didn't really play it. But this would be a great opportunity to jump into it. And I'm really loving this movement of like just, you know, remaking older titles, ones that like they are gold, like they're great content, they're great games, they're great experiences, but they just don't live up, and they've got clunky controls, or you know, there's just something that will get in the way of the experience of it, and just kind of refreshing them. It's almost the equivalent of when like Peter Jackson restored the old footage of World War II just to kind of show you the content. It's like it's the same shit, but now you can see it in like the color and all that kind of stuff. It's like this historical restoration of games, because games just seem to disappear and we never see them again.
Yeah, especially ones that meant a lot to people or influenced a lot of people. Like KOTOR, I played the start of it and just couldn't get into it. I didn't enjoy the battle system, but I didn't play it at the time it came out. That was like going back to it after getting used to more modern gameplay mechanics, right? Yeah. So, and actually, I think that's the reason I went to play it, because I was like, I hear it's like the team behind Mass Effect, and I really like Mass Effect, but I love Star Wars. So if it's like the Mass Effect gameplay in a Star Wars like universe, I'll surely enjoy it. But there was something about,
and then it's not the Mass
really,
Effect gameplay. It's like a weird version of turn-based, but real. It's like one of the first games almost do real-time turn-based.
But like my friends loved it, absolutely loved it, and actually the only thing in like my friends like message group from that showcase that got shared was that. That was the only thing that they were all like, holy shit. Like, they are fucking losing their minds over that one. And I was like, I'm excited too, because I like the mythology of that era of Star Wars.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think with modern gameplay mechanics, but exploring that stuff, which is like the shit that like even I think a lot of us were like, we wish that's what they were making the movies about.
Yeah, I'd love to. It'd be great if they could try and capture the cinematics that were for the Old Republic. That kind of energy, if they could capture that in game, I think that could be the finest Star Wars game ever made.
Remember that Old Republic? Remember, it was like the trailers are better than the game.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Well,
it was a bit of a World of Warcraft moment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, some of those trailers were better than some of the movies. Like that,
Well,
they're
that
incredible.
Is
like
yeah.
they're absolutely incredible. And you're like, imagine if you could play a game like that. Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Is the guy who ignited the lightsaber, is that Darth Revan?
Yes. That's Darth Revan, yeah.
Yeah. See, because I was like, I recognize him and I know that name, but there's a few different masked figures from that era of games, and I wasn't sure which one was Darth Revan. There's Darth Bane, I think. There's a few.
Yeah, Kylo Ren and Darth Vader and Darth Malak. And, yeah, they're like all masked. If they're a Sith, you have to wear a mask.
Masks are cool. What can I say? Yeah, I thought it was a really cool one to start with, because it was one as well that like in any of the in anyone's predictions that came up, I never heard of that one. So that one genuinely caught me by surprise.
I heard whispers of it in the past, but I didn't expect it here. I knew it was going to come eventually, but just not here.
Yeah, it was cool. We won't go through all of them, I don't think. We'll just like pick out the ones that really stood out to us.
Yeah.
And then if anyone did miss one, yeah, did you laugh?
I did, because I was like, come on, like the game it's coming, it's actually nearly here, like it's nearly out. Like, what is the point in wasting space on this?
And it wasn't
weird.
Just
it was a good trailer though.
It was, but it wasn't just a quick like 15 seconds and here's how you buy it.
No,
it was an actual another trailer. I laughed so hard.
It's weird that like the last like I think 2 or 3 trailers have been like pretty decent for it, and it's like, why weren't these the trailers from earlier on? Because I actually thought the marketing was quite poor for this when we first saw it.
Certainly in the beginning,
and it just seemed to look more enticing as we got closer to its release. But it's like at this point I'm just kind of sick of it. Like I'm sure it's a fun game, but I'm not sold on it myself.
No, it wouldn't be for me, but by fuck, if it was a PS Plus game, I'd play the shit out of it, I'd say.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not even trying to be rude to it, but in like 2 years' time, I could see it being there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But the reviews for it so far, for people who've been playing it before it's actually out,
yeah, well, it's supposed to
ridiculous.
Be ridiculous. It's supposed to be very narrative driven.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like that Hades style, kind of getting pieces of the story as you go.
Yeah,
you know. So
I know Alana Pierce
being pretty good.
Was playing like 5 hours of it, and she was kind of giving her thoughts on it. And she was like, "I'm actually finding like I thought I was just going to be having fun with the gameplay. So like, but I'm finding that as I'm playing it, I'm more intrigued by the actual puzzle of how am I going to kill these 8 people in one day." And at that point, she'd not even playing for 5 hours, but obviously like time works differently in the game. And she had already witnessed the same day more than once at that point. So it's not like it's a real time one day, you know what I mean?
I think I saw her like reaction to the event, and I just felt that kind of small little review has done more for the game than any of the trailers have done for me personally.
Sure,
because they didn't actually touch on any of that really. You know, nowhere in it does it say this is a strong narrative game. Like it's
no.
Like that.
It's very loose. But I laughed a lot when it came up, because I think
same.
like in last week's one we were like, imagine if Deathloop came up again, you know? I thought it did, and I was like, man, there's a couple of things I wanted to see, and this is not one of them.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. So that's Deathloop aside. First time I was like genuinely surprised by this was obviously Star Wars. The second time I was genuinely surprised by this was Insomniac's logo came up,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I was like, okay, this is Spider-Man 2. We had a thought that it might be shown. Marvel came up. I was like, yeah, it's definitely Spider-Man 2. And then there was a bar, and I was like, doesn't really look like Spider-Man. And then the guy, and then it turned and showed his fists, and straight away I was like, is that Wolverine?
That's Wolverine.
That's fucking Wolverine. And then the claws came in and it just said Wolverine. And I was like, oh my God, Insomniac. What's happening?
They're making like a Marvel gaming universe now, the MCU.
Yeah, maybe. What do you think of I know the trailer doesn't show much, but just even the
Isn't
thoughts
it
of
weird
Insomniac
that
making
the
it.
minute you see the bar, you're like, this is Wolverine? Like, I didn't even have to get around to seeing his fist. I just saw like just the look of the bar and
the bar and the checkered shirt and everything.
Yeah, the back of him. I'm just like that's Wolverine. But I thought it was they were introducing Wolverine as a Spider-Man. That's what I
thought too. Yeah. As soon as I thought it was Wolverine, I still thought it was in Spider-Man. I was like, didn't expect that until it said Wolverine, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's
what
mental.
The
like,
fuck? How are they making all these games?
That's what I could understand. Like, they already have 2 games out on the PS5, and here's another 2 announced.
I think Insomniac are killing it at the moment, and I think PlayStation Studios are really happy with them being one of their in-house studios.
Yeah.
But I also figured, I could be totally wrong, right? But I've kind of figured if you look at, if I was to draw a comparison, like Naughty Dog, right?
Yeah.
Say Ratchet and Clank is now Insomniac's Crash Bandicoot, and Spider-Man is their Uncharted.
Okay.
In terms of tonality and the kind of audience it might reach.
Right.
I think Wolverine could be a fucking Last of Us.
Well,
I think this could be like
it has to be mature,
gritty and violent, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is awesome. I hope it is. I really do. But like,
I'd love to know how they managed to make that deal. You know, like you have Square Enix doing Avengers. Is it 2K then is doing
Guardians, right?
Midnight Suns.
Oh, Midnight Suns. Who was
Eidos Montreal is...
So that's Square Enix again, is doing Guardians.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Sony's doing... Well, it makes sense how they're doing Spider-Man. They own Spider-Man, but now they're doing the Wolverine. How the fuck... Like... It's just so weird that how Marvel's handling the gaming licenses is almost like the way they used to be in the film industry.
Yeah.
Where everything was just licensed out and just kind of, hit and miss. Like I just don't understand why they didn't just hand it all to Sony in the first place, really.
But what's interesting to me is that, yes, it was a no-brainer that Sony would make a Spider-Man game.
Yep.
And I think people were like kind of asking for it for a long time, even after the Arkham games. It made sense that we would get a Spider-Man game, a modern one. How Insomniac got it, I don't know. But obviously they've proven themselves with it. And I feel like they were like, we want to make... I feel like Insomniac were like, we want to make a Wolverine game.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
And I'd say Marvel, after the success of Spider-Man, were like, yes, you can make a Wolverine game.
I mean, sure.
You go ahead. Which to me is cool, because if those are the characters they're picking out, I'm like, man, like you're picking out the best of the Marvel characters. Like, you know what I mean? Like Spider-Man and Wolverine fucking rock.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll look at doing some other ones in the future. I don't know, but
well, the great thing about the Wolverine, I guess, is that you can bring, like, who do you bring into it? You could pretty much bring anyone into it. He's not tied to the X-Men as like, not like Cyclops, right? Like with Cyclops, you're like, okay, I'm going to be running with the X-Men. But Wolverine is so like
lone wolf
character kind of thing that you could be taking on anyone, really.
Yeah, if you're making a game with Cyclops as your central character, then you have to go down that Avengers road. It has to be a team game where he's the team captain, because that's so pivotal to his character and who he is. Whereas you're fucking absolutely right. Like Wolverine eventually got his own comic line. Like he's very standard, and he works best on his own, to tell the truth. Like it's cool to see him interact with people, and he's an unlikely kind of companion, but most of his fucking best stories are when it's his own shit that he's dealing with. Like,
yeah, that's what makes him interesting as a character, isn't it? Is that he's kind of an anti-hero, but not quite. Like, he's not like the Punisher, but he's nearly there. Yeah. He's nearly the Punisher.
Well, I like this game has to be violent, right?
Yeah.
I can't see how they can't make it violent. Maybe not as violent as the Activision Wolverine game that came out all them years ago, but
Sure. Yeah.
but it'll have to be violent of some sort.
Well, yeah, I again, like what Chris said, probably like a Last of Us violent. It's violent, but it's not over the top.
I don't even know if it would be that violent.
But that's sort of like when you
we're-
are slashing, there is blood spray,
There is
and you
blood,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
and you can see the cut deep into them. Like,
Yeah, but we're not.
No.
Yeah, and I'd say you're right, Eric, because like we're not expecting Doom or fucking Mortal Kombat overly violent kind of
Yeah.
No.
like ridiculous violence. But that kind of thing of like slashing someone and you will see blood spurt.
That
or
was
whatever.
Activision
I
that
think
made
that's-
the last one.
It was, yeah.
The one where
Yeah.
like you could see parts of yourself like blowing off and
Peel off and
regenerate
stuff.
all.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be
To be
cool.
honest,
It'd be
though-
cool if it looked like that, but
I do think they would play around with the healing factor in a similar way. Like it's like, you know, they were clearly inspired by Spider-Man 2 in terms of the swinging, and it's like, right, that's the standard. We got to nail that kind of feeling. So they might be looking back as like, what have other games done with Wolverine? What
X2,
worked?
Wolverine's
And how can we
Revenge.
improve on it? Oh man, what a game! What a game! Apparently, David Hayter has expressed interest in playing Wolverine for Insomniac.
Oh,
That's not his first rodeo, is it?
I don't know. Has he done Wolverine
I
before?
think he might have.
I know
done
Mark Hamill has.
that. Oh yeah.
has Mark Hamill?
I think Mark Hamill was him in Wolverine's
Yeah,
Revenge.
Wolverine's Revenge.
Oh.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
God, Mark Hamill's so good voices.
he's great, isn't he? You know, anyway, no matter which story they go with or whoever, like what villains they go with, like Sabretooth's got to be in here, right?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, 100%. You got to have a throwdown with fucking Sabretooth. And then that, like, yeah, it's got to be fucking violent, man. It's just got to be.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I don't know about everyone else, but I really am. I'm like, you know, there's only so many superheroes. There's like movies are one thing, but like to actually play as superheroes, there's like a certain list of them, you know, that you can make. They're like they would actually be fun to play as.
I wonder how
And
they
Wolverine is one of them.
would they have to build a whole new engine for this, like, because they can't use the Spider-Man engine. It doesn't
No,
work.
they can't.
Or
No,
is it just
no.
going to be the Ratchet and Clank style engine, that kind of linear platformer?
I don't think so, man. I think they'll build a different engine for this. Like, you know, Spider-Man has its own, Ratchet and Clank has its own. I really do see this as like, this might be their maturest game.
Yeah,
You know what I
have to
mean?
Go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
It's mad how they are like.
How are they doing all this?
Yeah, pumping them out so quickly. Like normally, if you're pumping games out that quickly, it's because you have an engine that's working and you're able to.
Adapt it.
Yeah, you're able to realize it quite quickly. Like that's why Naughty Dog takes so long, and you know they have to. For a lot of their games, they're building it from the ground up. So I'm wondering, did they find something with their Ratchet and Clank engine that they could just kind of tweak a few things, and it's like, there we go, we've got a working other Marvel style game that we could use. Because did they put a date on it? I don't think they did.
No.
No,
I would
no.
imagine actually that we'll get Spider-Man 2 before Wolverine.
Well, yes,
No, this was definitely a teaser trailer down to
Down the
3
road.
years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, yeah, and that leads us on then. So, like, as soon as I saw that, because they showed that first, which I thought was clever in a way when you think back on it, because everyone was expecting Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good way to
So it
do it.
really threw people off.
Yep.
And caught them by surprise. And then I was like, oh, okay, well then, if that's what they're working on next, then we're not getting Spider-Man. So then, like, my guard went down again.
Yeah.
And then when they came back up again, I was like, as well? What the fuck?
I know, that was... I couldn't believe
Spider-Man 2, 2023, which
Yeah.
is what we said.
it. Yeah.
What did you think of that? Eric, did you see that one?
I did see that one. Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, cool. It looks like it might have a bit of that whole Arkham Knight sort of team player style thing. So you and Miles be working together to take down the criminals. And it sounds like Craven's going to be in it.
That
sounded like
Craven.
A hat to
Sound like
Craven,
Craven.
right?
Which is interesting because then the end of the trailer ended with Venom's face. So I'm like, are they working together? Are they building up to like a Sinister Six sort of thing? Because they did
Or
that in
does
the
Craven
first
have
one.
the symbiote?
Is that
Oh.
Craven wearing Venom? Yeah, like who's the
Could be.
host? Because, okay, spoiler alert for Spider-Man 1.
Right.
When I didn't finish it, everyone who played that knew Venom was going to be in this game.
Yeah, because symbiote was at
Because the symbiote was the thing teased at the very end of it.
Okay.
And
But it
had
was
some,
Harry that's...
it had some connection with Harry Osborn. So the question is, the symbiote in this game, or Venom, as it's shown, and he looked fucking cool and he sounded fucking cool. And I'm delighted that they're like ignoring, or at least it looks like they're ignoring what is popular in movie at the moment in terms of Venom. And they're going with that 90s era Spider-Man, the animated series, Venom's gonna come fuck you up villain.
Yep.
Because that's Venom, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not interested in the anti-hero Venom that comes later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the best rendition of Bane is the first rendition of Bane. The best rendition of Venom is the first rendition of Venom. And the question is like, yeah, is that Kraven? Like, is it that Kraven can't beat two Spider-Men and takes on a symbiote to take them on? Is it Harry, which is a fucking awesome idea that I don't think has ever been done before? Or is it Eddie Brock? Is it going to be comic accurate?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Eddie, just because this almost sounds like the way the game plays out is like this is like the Arkham games. This is a Spider-Man after so many adventures. You know, we're already introducing the Miles character, so I think he would have dealt with Eddie in the past, and that's gone now. This is
you think so though?
This is just Venom the symbiote. Yeah, because that was the whole White Spider thing, isn't it? It was like to kind of reflect back on the days when he had it. It's the actual Venom symbol that's on the White Spider suit.
It is.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was just an Insomniac winking thing. I didn't think... I have a feeling that this is the first time he's meeting the symbiote is in this game. In a similar way, it's like, yes, he is a Spider-Man who's been around for many years. The Kingpin was his arch enemy for a long time, as seen in the first game. But at the same time, he hadn't dealt with the Green Goblin yet. It was the origins of Dr. Octopus. There was some of his like big villains hadn't actually come out yet.
Yeah.
You know, he had a lot of run-ins with like the Vulture and Rhino or whatever. You know, there was a couple of those that he had locked up. Scorpion. But he hadn't really met his arch enemies yet. They hadn't, and I feel like the idea here is that if this is a trilogy, Dr. Octopus was the first game, Venom is this second game, and Norman is always there, and we're building up to like the final game is probably the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
So Green Goblin hasn't been introduced yet, has he?
No,
okay.
But hints of him were like you find this like secret room in the Oscorp penthouse in the first game, and you see like mock-ups of like the bombs and like a weird design for the mask and stuff like that, and it's pretty fucking cool because you're like, I know what that is, but this character doesn't have context yet, and you know, there's little hints of where they might be going with the story. Like I feel like they do have a framework almost for a trilogy, but they've only teased little bits, almost like the Rocksteady guys, where they were like, we're not directly setting up a sequel, but we're putting enough in there that if we do a sequel, we have somewhere to pick up. Do you know what I mean? Like the fact that they did have in Arkham Asylum a secret room with an Arkham City map.
Yeah.
Or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. Yeah. I think it'd be so cool if Venom is on Harry. It'd be such a fucking dilemma.
I don't think it really matters what it's necessarily on, but because I'm just trying to think of like the it did sound like Kraven's in the trailer, and I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not that familiar with Kraven, but I don't really see him as being the big villain mastermind, unless it's just like he's being manipulated as well or something like that. And I also don't see him necessarily. I know he's a member. He was part of the Sinister Six, but I don't see him really teaming up with someone like Venom. I just see him like seeing this as a challenge for him to take on himself.
Possibly, yeah.
But yeah, I'm really fucking intrigued by it. It looks like it's going to be well, based on the past two games.
Yeah, I mean they're both solid.
Be great.
I actually feel like in terms of role that they might fill, I feel like Kraven might fill a similar role as Mr. Negative did in the first game, in that he's sort of he's the first villain you're facing, but actually the game is actually the origin story of this other villain who's sort of the real villain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Venom will be there from the get-go. And I do wonder, will they have a portion of the story where the symbiote's on Peter first? Like, will they do that?
Oh, and then they could do like a fight between Spider and Miles.
Oh, that would be fucking cool. If you had a thing where Peter is kind of losing his edge over it and Miles is trying to rein him in, or something
Was
like
Eddie
that, or
in
like,
the other
that
game?
would be...
I can't remember if she was or not.
No, I don't remember even a reference to Eddie Brock, but I mean, there's a lot of secret Easter eggs in there. Maybe someone who has played it could like let us know. Is there ever mention Eddie Brock? But yeah, it would be fucking interesting if he showed up as well. I don't know, like there's plenty of characters that they could still touch on. Like Spider-Man has a great cast of characters, I feel.
Oh yeah. Amazing.
And I just love that. I think these guys are really inspired by, like, there was elements of every era Spider-Man in that game, but for the most part, it really felt like the Raimi trilogy and like the 90s cartoons, but in a modern setting.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. So I love the Venom design. It looks great.
Yeah. Who would you want to see them do next if they were to introduce another character?
Another villain, like?
Or even, like, so they're doing Wolverine now.
Oh, right. Look, if Insomniac could make another Marvel character game.
Well, surely I'm going to assume for you, Adam, would be Blade.
No, that's not the one that came to mind. Just because,
I
mean, that would be fucking cool. But
I'd play a Blade game. Of course I would.
Game, yeah,
of course I would. I really like. The only thing is he has pretty fucking lame rogues gallery, but I really like Daredevil.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you'd be better off just putting Daredevil in a Spider-Man game.
Yeah, you could. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking about, like,
you know what I mean?
Would they do another Miles Morales style game
where you play as Daredevil?
Right, as an introduction for the third one, which is another character.
I'd fucking love that, man.
Yeah.
And
because
like Bullseye could be the villain, right? But Kingpin maybe is working from prison as well, like, you know what I mean? Because he's already been introduced in that universe. But yeah, it's so good.
You take the Hell's Kitchen section of the map that's already made.
Yes.
But you're more, it's more intricate. You can actually go into buildings and stuff like that. There's like, it's like just that smaller bit. So it's not so much swinging through the cities. It's actually going into places, and it'd be really cool as well doing like, you'd have to do part of your daytime job as the attorney and stuff, like solving crimes and things like that. Like it could be really cool.
Like Daredevil doesn't have a great rogues gallery in general, but he's such a fucking cool character. I'm kind of raging he's not like in the MCU, so to speak. Like that Netflix show is fantastic, but I wish he was like, I don't know. They've paired Spider-Man with Doctor Strange in this No Way Home thing, and I know that allows for certain things to happen, which are kind of interesting or whatever. But honestly, I would have loved to see Daredevil or Matt Murdock be Peter Parker's defense attorney because he's being held for questioning
that'd be so cool.
for the death of Mysterio. Like that would be such a cool way of just bridging that character into the MCU. I don't know. I'd love that. Eric, who would you like to see them make? Like, which other Marvel character would you like to see them tackle?
I mean, probably Blade. Blade would be awesome.
Yeah,
Blade would be cool.
Although, well, they could probably do a really cool thing with World War II Captain America.
I would definitely love to see a Captain America in that era.
Yeah, they could do
like,
World War II Captain America and do it right. Not what we
leave
got.
out the laser guns.
Laser
make
guns.
Make it like a real period drama war movie.
Yeah,
type game. That would be fucking sick. Yeah, I'd like that.
I think some people are calling for like a Hulk game now as well after seeing the Wolverine trailer. Some people are wanting.
Well, I'm wondering if Hulk will be in it though. Like
the right road there is you fight the Hulk as Wolverine.
Yeah,
I mean, playing as the Hulk is like.
Someone did a breakdown of like the trailer. There's like Easter eggs, kind of when you see the back of Wolverine and you can see the bar, and there's like a little there's like a couple of numbers around the place, and one of them was the Hulk issue, the actual number for the Hulk issue that he was in.
All right.
And stuff like that. So, I mean, Hulk could be in it.
It's such a famous fight. Isn't that where Wolverine first turned up in comics?
Yeah, it was the first appearance, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're making that game, you nearly want to do that fight.
Yeah.
What a cool boss fight that would be, is fighting the Hulk.
Yeah, like it could be really sick. It would almost be like the fight between Kratos and Balder.
Holy shit, that makes me think we've been drawing the wrong comparison, or I've been drawing the wrong comparison by bringing up The Last of Us. They could be going God of War 2018 on this in terms of tone and violence.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Like Wolverine jumping up on the backs of fucking things and, you know, doing cool finishers and everything.
That's the only thing with him is that, like, it's like, it's like, who's he? You know, like with God of War, for example, I think they purposely removed people from it because you didn't want to, you know, you're just slaughtering mythical creatures, right? That's what you're killing, and even the normal goons. But as the Wolverine, like, unless you're fighting robots or something like that, there's no way you can't make it fucking violent. You're just gonna be killing random.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be.
Some poor security guard who's like, you know, he was just promising his kid that he's gonna be home later to play Cluedo after dinner, and you're just ripping him open because he's in your way.
It's the henchman scene from Austin Powers, you know, and the guy gets run over. But no, it's got to be violent, man. I feel like as well, the setting though is not going to be a city or anything. He's going to be in like the wilderness or something. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be some beautiful,
or a bit of both.
I got a sense that from the bar, the checkered shirt, the cowboy hat, and everything like that, I kind of got a sense that he down south. He down on that border or something. He fighting some cartel.
Or it could be like The Last of Us, where you're like going from kind of place to place, and so your environment changes. Therefore, the way you would.
So it could be more of a linear adventure as opposed to a open world game.
Yeah, I can't see it being an open world. Not for a Wolverine game.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right approach. And then they could as well, like he's often, you know, been depicted with a motorbike. So they could have that. That's how he's getting from town to town as well for certain sequences.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be out of character. It's something that people have kind of associated with him, I think, as well. So
I would love to see what they do with the regeneration, because it's like, you can regenerate. So we're like, what's the health thing? Is it does the health regenerate? Do you have a health bar, or is it just that Uncharted style screen turns to black kind of a thing? Or what are they going to do there?
You know what else is exciting about that game? Because from that moment onwards, they were pretty much saying most of these are PS5 exclusives. That's going to be a PS5 exclusive, which means it'll be built from the ground up with haptic feedback.
Hopefully.
And I'm just wondering if, like, every time you take out the claws, does it have like a certain feeling to it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that could be great.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine them including like when the claws actually come out, like it would have that slight spring-loaded effect that you would feel in the controller. I can see that happening for sure.
Yeah, that would be fucking sick. Yeah. Okay, and then we might as well get to the other big one, and then we can talk about some of the other ones that happen in between. Am I forgetting something else huge before I get to the big one?
Gran Turismo. How could you forget that one?
Sure. I thought I'd take Forza Horizon 5 looks better, but sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, for a game that's been in development for so fucking... Like, here's Insomniac spitting games out, and Polyphony Digital, one of their long-time studios that... Like, Gran Turismo has always been a platform seller. And I just thought that showcase for a game that's been in development for so long is just like, seriously, like, just look what Microsoft did with Forza. Forza honestly, actually looks interesting for someone who doesn't like racing.
Remember I said that I hate racing. Do you remember after that showcase I was like I was blown away by that presentation? Gran Turismo 7 looks like any other racing game.
It really looks a bit dated. I think it doesn't.
I don't think it looks great at all.
No.
I didn't watch it, so I think
that's
but it was a long trailer too.
It was really long.
It was
unnecessarily long.
Like
with no speaking or anything, just
no, and it actually it was almost in two parts because it had this like weird orchestra track, and it didn't go with it. It was like, this is really fucking boring, and then it switches to something a little bit more upbeat, but it was still kind of boring, and it was like, what the.
So apparently the music, because I was jarred by that as well, but I have watched like other people talking about the showcase because I was curious. Like I was like, I'm not going as wild as some people are about some of these, so I'm kind of like curious where everyone else is at. But yeah, there was someone who's a hardcore Gran Turismo fan. I think it was at the Kind of Funny Games cast, might have been. But they were saying that particular piece of music was actually from the Gran Turismo 4 soundtrack.
Gran
And so
Turismo
it was
4.
Yeah, so it was a callback, and something about this game apparently is that it will include elements from every other Gran Turismo before or something like that. So
Okay, that'd be cool if they
So
had
take from
said
that- yeah, like take from that what you will. Like I don't know, like yeah,
Like
yeah,
I actually, I
didn't do anything
really
for me,
enjoyed the very first Gran Turismo back on PS1. I actually thought it was actually a pretty good game, and it was one of the games that really said, okay, racing games on console can be proper driving simulators, and there's like you could upgrade your
Right.
car and stuff like that. And Ridge Racer was obviously a really good one back then.
Ridge Racer.
But then it was just like racing games just became the same shit, and I wasn't actually interested in racing again as the games until Need for Speed Underground. I thought that really changed the game a bit, and then everything became that essentially.
Yeah.
And now I feel like it's Forza who are making it exciting again.
Yeah, I suppose like after Need for Speed, the only other there's very few like racing games that have ever caught my eye trailer wise. After Need for Speed, it was Motorstorm.
Oh, Motorstorm actually, the first,
which for
first
me
one was
actually, when the game came out, played a little bit of it, but it didn't actually live up to the trailers or the hype.
right.
But it's always like but it was that was an exciting trailer, like, and I was like,
Yeah.
that looks fucking gritty and cool.
Yeah.
And honestly, the after that, ever since that, I don't know how many years that is. The only other one to actually grab me was Forza Horizon 5, which I think, as far as racing games goes, looks like so far the pinnacle. I really do.
Yeah,
I
it
think it
does look
looks
good. I just
solid.
I just thought it was a piss poor presentation for Gran Turismo.
Then how about the presentation for God of War Ragnarok? Never heard of it.
No,
Which Corey has
Looked,
kept saying.
Shit. Look shit.
Like
It's
shit,
awful.
man, isn't it?
Yeah, what is that like? What are they doing?
Moving on.
I actually had to.
Obviously, we want to talk about Blood Hunt.
I watched it twice.
Obviously.
The event twice, that is. And
Okay.
I have to say, for the first time watching it, I was like, yeah, like firstly, I expected it.
Yeah.
I expected to see it. I was like, cool, looks like more God of War. That's grand. I was still so hyped from Spider-Man announcement that I kind of was half paying attention nearly. I was just thinking about Spider-Man, and I was like, so I feel like the placement wasn't great. I wouldn't have ended it with that, I don't think.
I wholly agree. Yeah.
I think I would have ended with Spider-Man, actually. I think I would have switched those two, maybe.
Yeah. I hope people know I was joking a second ago when I said shit. It looks brilliant. It looks
No, it does look
fantastic.
good, yeah.
The visuals look great. I am surprised by some of the stuff they were saying about it, though.
I'm surprised at what they were showing. Some of the stuff that they showed.
I'm surprised by that, but you see, and this is where when you miss a showcase, you do miss some information, right? So, for example, they had an interview
Okay.
afterwards. Corey Barlog is not directing this one.
Okay.
There's a different guy directing it. So that surprised me, first of all.
That's interesting.
And this is going to be the last one with Norse mythology.
Yeah.
This is going to
Oh.
end their Norse saga. That felt weird to me too, because I was like, I feel like you've just skipped one or something.
Yeah,
like,
it's a bit weird saying Norse Saga when there's only two.
Yeah. So they've So that to me was
but that was
very
the thing.
surprising.
I always found that the naming it Ragnarok was a very weird. If it was a second one, was a weird way to name a second one.
Yeah.
So if they're doing the last one, fair enough. But
I mean,
it's weird.
it looks like if you enjoyed the first one, I think you're going to enjoy this one because it looks like more of the same, but maybe some improved visuals, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Axe looks great, killing some monsters.
Yeah.
Yes.
The new creatures in it look fantastic.
They look great, and the performances still look solid. That little town that he goes into in the boat looks really, really good.
It kind of looks like
people
there's
in it.
actually some civilization, which it was one of my criticisms with the first one. I wanted to see more people around, but so that looks like it's addressing that. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see the design of Thor that they released afterwards?
Yep.
Which I thought
really
was
good.
I thought it was
Really
weird
good,
though
yeah.
that they hid him in the trailer to only reveal him the very next day in concept art.
Yeah.
Well,
I was like,
but it's
is
that
the
could
hint,
have been the
hinted
end of the
trailer though
trailer
is
or
the
something.
clip from the first game though, isn't it?
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It is, but you finally heard his voice, which sounded awesome.
Yeah.
I thought that sounded really
he's
cool.
very like kind of accurate to the books, the description of the old version with the ginger beard and the kind of beer belly.
Every design in it is really good.
Yeah, they look great. It's so funny to me though, because a lot of people are real mad about it because they wanted the kind of Marvel depiction of Thor.
It is the Marvel depiction of Thor.
Yeah, it's the one from Endgame. Just ginger. No, I like the look of him. He looks like a burly guy who's drinks a lot of beer but will fuck you up at the end of the night as well.
I mean, that's what he's been doing basically since leading up to Ragnarok, isn't it? Just like fucking feasting and sitting on his arse.
Yeah.
Essentially, so.
He does he looks like I wouldn't mess with him.
Yeah. And it's still interesting that we've heard lots of tales of Odin. I'm assuming if this is the last one, I'm assuming Odin's going to be in it. So I also can't wait to see Odin. See, this is the game that gets me. I'm like, oh,
I was a bit, I was a bit like, is this straight after the first one? Because like,
Atreus looks older.
He looks way older. But then I was like, oh, but like, is it because he's a giant though? Does that
maybe ages faster?
Does that affect his? Does he get growth spurt or does he grow quick?
See, I would have ended the trailer with actually revealing what Thor looks like, right? As opposed to releasing that as concept art the next day, because they ended the trailer with this female character who's a new character looking back at the screen saying the answers are coming or something, right?
Yep.
But I always feel like ending a trailer with something that you just have no idea what it is just never enough to have you go, oh shit. It's just a
it's kind of like with
I had no questions, so
I don't know who that is, so sure.
Kind of like Metal Gear Solid 5, like when they're like, oh, the answers will come, like, but we have no questions.
Yeah,
you answered everything. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
we're going to explain the robot arm. No one's played that one. We don't know.
we don't care about the robot arm.
We don't care.
No
we
one
don't
questions
know. It. Yeah, it's kind of like that. So like I'm interested in that character, but I
have a feeling she's Egyptian. I have a feeling from the desert that you go to Egypt.
But is that not her? Like, what's her name?
Whoa. I thought they said that she's. I think they announced that she is a giant. That she's actually
she's a giant. Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's
I have a feeling she's not Egyptian.
Angrabia or something.
Yeah,
like
I think doesn't
Angerboda?
Yeah,
yeah, that's who she is.
Yeah.
Is that vital? Is that good?
No, that's alright. I don't know who the fuck that is.
You knew it straight away. We were like,
I mean, could that have been maybe a place in Jotunheim that you're describing, because that looked fairly deserty?
Desert, yeah, that's fair actually. Yeah, probably Jotunheim
then. Is she significant then? So
I'll say nothing.
I'm just wondering, like, if you know their shit, would you be like, oh fuck? You know what I mean?
Yes.
But you only knew who she was from them releasing that in the concept art the next day, though. You didn't know from the trailer on its own. That's my
thing, that's
you know
a bit silly. Yeah.
Whereas ending with Thor, you'd know him from the hammer.
Yeah.
You'd know exactly that was Thor. So that's all I'm saying. You know, that way.
Yeah.
Sounds like they had to tell you who Tyr was, because Tyr is just not that well known in pop culture.
Yeah.
No.
You know, he's fucking big though.
He's very bad. Very surprised how big. I wonder if he's going to be missing his hand.
I'd mistake him for a giant.
Oh. But it looks good, and the casting sounds great. I like the shot where Freya turns from like a falcon,
that's cool,
into herself, and then like
starts
attacking you while you're on the run or something. And I'm like, is she going to show up every so often, like hunting you? Like that's a cool.
Well, that's really cool
thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, after when I watched it the second time, I was way more into it. That first viewing, I was just still thinking about Spider-Man. I'm more excited about Spider-Man 2 for some reason, but I just am.
I am as well, to tell the truth, but that's more from because there's such a long history. Obviously, there's a long history of Norse mythology, like way longer than Spider-Man. But there's just I know Spider-Man mythology a lot more, so I can make kind of guesses at what they might pull from. Whereas when it comes to Norse mythology, I know the bare minimum, and so in that sense, it's like Eric's getting so excited when he hears a name because he knows exactly what it means, and so it's nearly like he's like if that was Spider-Man and he knows exactly who that character is supposed to be, you know? It's nearly a similar thing.
I think with me, it's just like it's because it's the last one. It's called Ragnarok. I kind of feel like I know the ending. Now they may just pull the rug from under this, but I almost feel like I'm going to do a certain amount of events to get to an inevitable end. Whereas with Spider-Man, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea.
That's fair.
So I think that's why I'm more excited about the Spider-Man one. But the fucking game looks beautiful. Like some of those locations looked absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to jump back into that world, those characters.
I wonder if there's going to be that much of a difference between the PS5 and PS4, apart from just frame rate.
Yeah. The only thing is, and I agree with you in terms of placement. I mean, I felt like there should have been something after that. I actually don't think it was a good way to end the thing. And
it was a bit strange,
Spider-Man maybe, but only because we all knew it was coming. Yeah. It wasn't like they really caught us off guard. Everyone knew this whole showcase was basically about showing God of War, and then they coupled a couple of teasers with that.
Yeah,
but
I wasn't expecting Wolverine. I certainly wasn't expecting Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, they were big surprises. Yeah. Everyone knew God of War was going to be shown, and so for me, it needed to and one last announcement, and I actually nearly thought that was going to happen, even though that's the end of the showcase. I was like, really? And then they started talking. I was like, oh, maybe after this talk, there'll be something, though, if you stuck around kind of thing. And they were like, they revealed that Cory Barlog's not directing this, that it's another guy. I can't remember his name. And then they were like, and Cory, then, what are you working on? He's like, oh, I'm working on something, but I'm not ready to reveal it yet. And then I actually thought, it's like, oh, is he just playing this up and they're going to tease something that he's working on? And they didn't at all. No. And I was just like, that's it, man. What?
Oh, did they show anything to do with Abandoned, actually?
No,
I actually went on to Abandon today just to see is there anything else.
So did I.
There's nothing on it.
There's nothing on it, man. Nothing on it. That game's not getting made.
It was abandoned.
Oh,
like all of their other
really
projects.
Like all of their other projects, yeah.
No, it turns out that they've started and not made mini games.
Yes.
Someone found a list of stuff that where they get started up on something and then they don't finish it. That's why, because I thought everyone was being mean, calling them scam artists or something. Especially on the night where they got kind of left hanging. With their live stream thing, and then when it finally ccame out, it was a 5-second clip that was already on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it actually turns out because lots of people are going, leave them alone, me included, and then someone else pulled out, dude, this is how many times they've actually done this. They've done it a bunch of times, and they're just a bunch of chancers, really, as far as this person was concerned. So I don't know if Abandoned will really come to fruition.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't know what's going to come of it, but I don't think it's as special as maybe we thought it was. I think they possibly have oversold it and then rode the wave of theories.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, maybe we'll be proven wrong. I kind of hope we are. I actually hope it's something cool because in the beginning it seemed like it was.
Yeah.
Anything more on God of War before we move on?
I mean, no, because I don't want to spoil anything on you.
Do you know what's going to happen, Eric? I feel like I kind of do know what's going to happen, though.
What do you theorize? What are we going to theories now? Theories for God of War?
Well, if you theorize, you could end up spoiling it on. Like, I mean, it's not fair to spoil a game that's not even out yet.
No, but just in terms of following what was already shown on a mural in God of War 2018 edition, and then listening to them say that this is the end of the Norse saga, I feel like I know exactly how it ends.
Yeah.
And so take that what you will.
Right.
But, someone might get a golf club, but we'll see. I hope they surprise us. I really do. I hope they really.
It looked like actually it looked like.
I would much rather watch the dad get mad.
In fact, I would play that.
yeah, I'd play the fuck out of
that. It looks like that you do get to kill people in this one as well.
Human enemies, really?
I mean, they looked a little bit like, they kind of looked like the ones from Senua's, the first Hellblade. I can't remember the fucking name of the now. Senua's
Sacrifice.
Senua's Hellblade.
Yeah, the enemies in that kind of look like those, like the kind of the way they appeared out of mist, kind of, and they had like kind of antlers under hats and things like that. I noticed that in the trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah,
Just the designs in general look sick.
Because you only killed like 3 guys in like the first one, and then it was just Draugr and Hellwalkers for the rest one. But this one looks like the people themselves are now going mad because of Fimbulwinter, and so you have to actually fight the people.
Fucking wait to see Asgard.
That'd be cool.
I feel like you gotta go there, right? You gotta go there at the end to take on
more
Odin
realms
or something.
to explore, isn't there?
Well, yeah, they still have Svartalheim, Asgard, fucking Alfheim, Jotunheim.
Yeah, like if they're finishing Norse Saga, you gotta go to the rest of the realms, don't you?
It would be nice.
You gotta go to all of them.
You gotta.
Now all nine are just open with.
Yeah. Well, they said supposedly it's a 40-hour game. So
holy fuck.
40 hours. Sure, the first one was about that, wasn't it?
Was it?
I see, it depends. Like, do they mean 40-hour all content, or do they mean
just story?
40 hours,
just story. To be honest, just story that could be pushing it a bit.
Yeah, I felt because
sometimes it is, you know.
I did feel like the first God of War at points was just a bit like, no.
Yeah,
you're pushing a bit now.
2 or 3 times in that, didn't it?
Yeah. You get to the top of the mountain, you got to go back down the mountain. Then you go back up the mountain.
I really liked the first God of War, but I did not love it as much as it is loved.
Right? Yeah. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's great. But I feel like it's, I think it's not as innovative as like The Last of Us was.
Right.
Sure.
And it almost just feels like The Last of Us in Norse mythology.
Yeah.
And it was a really great way to reinvent the character from going from the Greek stuff to the Norse stuff.
From the button mashing sex games, like.
Yeah. Like maturing as a character, I think, is good because it's maturing with the gamers.
Yeah.
But I just didn't connect with it the same way as others have.
Well, I don't know. Obviously, I set myself up for disappointment, but there was just.
I've also set myself up for huge disappointment.
No, not with that game. Not with the game.
No, with the event.
Yeah, I was like, Metal Gear Solid Remake. Like the whole
really
way through, I was waiting.
In fact, I thought the Radiohead joke was the Silent Hill thing.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah. So did fucking I. I was like, Silent Hill. Here we go. We go. Oh man, it just would have made it for me.
Yep.
If they announced Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid. That's literally all I wanted. That would have absolutely killed the whole showcase. I liked a lot of what I saw, but I just needed something really fucking special at the end that was like, this is fucking PlayStation
I think they ruined
legacy
us
right
with Final Fantasy VII Remake, didn't they?
Maybe.
Yeah.
That one announcement, they'll never live up to that. Unless they do Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, of course.
Well, or Metal Gear Solid Remake.
And I had said that
Shadow Moses will look just like that.
I hope so. I had said that I thought that Final Fantasy 16 would be shown at this. But actually, who said it? Someone got in touch with me anyway, and they were like, I actually think they'll probably hold on to that to the Tokyo Game Show, which is actually not long away. And I was like, oh, fuck. Is
that not in the new year?
You're fucking right. No, it starts on the 20th of September and runs till the 3rd of October.
Oh,
so with that being said, I was like, oh, that makes a huge amount of sense. Actually, that's probably like the big thing at that show.
Right.
Is probably Final Fantasy 16.
There's a lot of,
know what I mean?
A lot of game shows.
There always was, though.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
it's just, you just got to keep an eye out for them.
No, yeah, there has been. It's always been E3, Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show was kind of the way it was. But I think Eric's right. Like, I just think there's too much shit now because they have the VGA, like the sorry, not VGAs, but the Game Awards. That's newish. I know it's been around for a couple of years, but it's newish in terms of the history of game shows.
Yeah.
And then now they have like the individual like fucking State of Plays and the Nintendo Directs and now this PlayStation Experience. It's just like
and it means that when you get the E3, when you get the Gamescom, when you get it just means that now they're like holding off on games rather than showing it off, because it's like, oh no, I'm gonna hold for my special event. I'm gonna hold it for this event, and it's just like no, just fucking show it. Just show the game. Just do. Sometimes doing Deathloop with some games is fine, where you can show it multiple times. Not with Deathloop, where it's every fucking.
I think that I really think that maybe they just weren't ready, but this Sony showcase should have been during E3.
Yeah, it should have been. Like, considering what they showed, because there wasn't. I thought
being
they were,
on its own wasn't good enough. I thought.
Yeah, the way they were holding off a bit, I was really expecting something way more special. Because God of War, like, yes, we were expecting it because it was delayed, so that kind of means they've already got shit to show.
Yeah, well, they said it was coming this year.
Exactly. So that means they would have had something.
Fools believed. It was never coming this year. Never. No. Not even when they said it. No. They already knew it wasn't.
I think it would have. If it wasn't for like extra variants and things like that, it would.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
It would have.
I know. Extreme circumstances. I know.
So that means they would have had things to show anyway.
Yeah. No, definitely.
That's why I didn't think that was much of a surprise. I was kind of surprised to see nothing on VR.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
No news on that. Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, there was great announcements, but it certainly could have been more.
The showcase that we predicted would have been awesome.
Hell yeah, that would have been
we predicted a great showcase. We really did. Check that out, guys. Well, look, games are subjective as well. And there was a lot of other games that were in here that we didn't talk about that other people might have found interesting. Is there anything else that you found interesting before we move on?
What did you think of the Uncharted 4 kind of remaster thing?
I didn't actually see it.
I this might sound terrible. I didn't care. And what I mean by that is I love Uncharted. It's one of my favorite series. Uncharted 4 is easily one of the best PlayStation 4 games. Easily. I don't think it can get any better than it is. So re-release it, fine. They're putting it on PC. I think that excitement, that announcement at a PlayStation showcase was more exciting if you are a PC player.
Yeah, because I don't really see the point in spending more money on the game if it's already backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Like,
and
give
great.
Give upgrades to the ones that already have the 4. Like, that's the way I would say it, because that's what Xbox is doing, you know.
Yeah, we were saying that,
like, charging again for a game on a system where it's already able to play it is odd.
Yeah. This isn't like the Dead Space remake where Dead Space
or
1
even
is stranded. You know what I mean?
The Nathan Drake collection on PS4, like, that made sense because you couldn't play the PS3 versions.
You're bringing it forward onto the new systems.
Yeah.
To be honest, I saw that and I went, really? Not Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer, which has been rumored for so long?
Yeah, it's weird that's still not here.
Really weird.
Yeah, then, considering you got Sucker Punch is able to release multiplayer, then an expansion, and then more multiplayer.
But then, not long ago, actually, like literally a few weeks ago, Naughty Dog had job listings up to get people to work on a multiplayer game. So maybe they're a long ways off that, or longer off than.
Yeah, that's a bit strange because I don't know if you want to leave that too long.
No, because
no one will care then.
It was last year's Game of the Year, which to me means it should come out this year. Yeah. Like, if it comes out next year, it's, I don't know, it's kind of pushing out the margins a little bit.
Yeah, and there's so many other games coming out. It's going to have to try and compete with them.
What do you think of Alan Wake Remastered?
Remaster kind of.
Would you rather hear the word remake on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's great for PlayStation players because.
Yeah, because we never got it.
Yeah, it's likely something that they never experienced. They may have played Control and wanted to explore more in that universe, and that's like the first one. I never really liked Alan Wake myself. I thought it was an interesting story and setting, but really shit gameplay.
Right.
And I think it's going to suffer big time on that. Because I don't think it's going to carry through. I always felt that the gameplay was a bit clunky and outdated back then.
All right.
And I just don't think it's going to carry through. It's almost like
do you think
when playing Heavy Rain on the PS4, I was like, fuck, I don't remember it playing this bad.
So, like, do you also think that the word remake would have been more exciting there?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know what you could do with Alan Wake to make it a better game.
But like, if you adopted some
remake
more
it
of
and
like,
change it.
yeah, like like Resi 2 remake,
Yeah.
more of those kind of mechanics and more of that kind of atmosphere and lighting and that kind
Well,
of thing.
I don't know, because like Alan Wake isn't a shooter. There's shooting in it, but it's not a shooter.
No.
So I don't know. Do you try and go down the Outlast road with it, where you start to take away combat and it's more about running away, or like I don't know. I just always felt that it was quite a slow paced game. It was about like shining your light on something so that you can shoot the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. There was like a decision making kind of thing happening there, but it was. I don't know how you can make that exciting in today's terms.
I played Alan Wake when I was younger and very scared of horror games. Very, very easily scared, and horror movies. And I was in Extravision. Shout out to Extravision. Don't know if everyone knows it.
Said it's so sarcastic.
No, I in a way I am, because you can't shout out to it anymore because it's gone, and it's a crying shame that it's gone. But
the Irish blockbuster.
The modern industry killed Extravision and those kinds of stores. But anyway,
yep.
You could rent movies and video games there. And I walked in, and there's a couple of games that I would have rented back in the day, because it was like, I do want to pay to play it. I want to play it, but I don't think I would get much out of it to buy it, if you know what I mean.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I think I could play it in a week, finish it, and be done with it. And I knew nothing about Alan Wake. I hadn't seen any trailers. I knew nothing. It's one of the only games that I picked it up purely because of the cover. I don't even know why. And I didn't like horror games. But there was something about the cover of that game that I was really fucking intrigued by it. And then I played a couple of hours of it, got shit scared. I don't know why. And went, I can't play this. I'm returning it. Why did I rent it? And I didn't play any more of it.
I got further than you.
You did. And to be honest, and then I kind of looked up about it because I was intrigued by it, but I was just too fucking scared to play it at the time. And now that I'm a braver, I feel like maybe I might revisit it. And see it out and get past that little scared teenage boy in Extravision. So,
is it PS4 and PS5? Is that what it said?
I think so. Yeah, I think
that would make sense. Yeah,
because it's coming this October, which, to be honest, is a great time for that to come out, because Halloween and stuff. You know,
it's be fun for streamers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the other one that caught my eye was that Project Eve game.
I, for some reason, was thinking, is this like Parasite Eve or something? Just
so did I.
Really fucking weird.
So did I, and then I had to Google it to see is it a long-awaited sequel or something to that. It's not, but the gameplay looked fucking cool. So
yeah,
and the creature designs were awesome.
Oh, what did you think of Forsaken? Because this is the first time we actually saw a bit of
Forspoken.
Yeah.
Still graphically and the physics of everything looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Like the cape is really cool, but kind of.
I was really put off by
that reveal. Just completely just bombed for me in terms of anticipation.
I totally understand why other people are excited by it, and I was on everything I saw up until this showcase.
So was I. Yeah.
When I finally heard the speaking and the tone,
it
lost me.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no.
Interestingly, I think it's Amy Hennig is the writer.
I know, yeah, and once I heard that, I was like, that kind of makes sense after hearing the kind of banter in it. But there's something about the cool visuals. To be honest, the whole thing came off. I actually said it to Ash was watching it with me, and as we were watching, I was like, "This feels like an MCU movie." And she was like, "Yeah, it does." And I was like, "Not really into that for this thing."
Well, I felt that her and the bracelet are MCU characters plunged into like
Harry Potter
or something, or like. Sure. Or Dragon Age, like they're plunged now into a world where they don't really match or belong. Because I think the witch character at the end looks really cool. I think the design's cool. I think the designs of all the creatures are cool. I think the world looks phenomenal. The way her cape moves is class.
Yeah.
But her, I don't know. Don't like the sort of transport and the shooting, the infamous style shooting.
I would agree with you. I will say I haven't completely written the game off in a I would never touch that. I'm not like offended by it or anything. My interest in it has dropped. But
I would like a demo.
Yeah, and if the reviews for it and good and stuff is going to catch my eye, to be honest, you know what I mean? Like, because I think there's definitely potential for it to be really great. And sometimes, trailers can also, the way they're cut together, come off really fucking. There's plenty of. It happens a lot with Final Fantasy games, actually, where they throw weird fucking dialogue over sequences where the dialogue is not taking place and turn up the music real loud. And the whole thing comes off as the cringiest thing you've ever seen.
It's like you had
when
one
you actually
job
play it yourself.
trailer.
Yeah, and then you go play it yourself and you go, oh, this is way fucking better than the trailer.
Yeah.
So that does happen. So I am, So I think...
Or there's times where trailers are like the coolest shit ever. And then you play the game and you're like...
That's the trailer doing its job, though, isn't it? Like...
Yeah, it is. But it's
just...
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, if you take into account something like Knights... no, not Knights of Old, just Old Republic. Yeah. Trailer's so fucking cool. World of Warcraft trailer's so cool. And you play it's like, this is not the trailer at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that, actually. Like, I love those trailers, but it's terrible if you're like, this is nothing like the thing I thought I was buying.
But this is where I again make the argument that we need to bring back. I know that obviously it takes more time to make a demo, but we kind of do need demos back because games are getting more expensive. So,
Sony needs to come up with some form of solution, because that's my thing with it. It's like I'm looking through this event right now, and I'm like, there's a handful of games here where I'm like, I'm totally in on. But the other ones, I'm less likely to experiment. I'm less likely to try them out because they're getting so fucking expensive. And I'm actually, like, if I'm watching an Xbox showcase, I'm more likely to go, I'll try that out.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. You're not gonna flip a coin on games anymore.
No.
I have to like be very conscious of what ones I'm going to spend my money on.
Because what are they now? 70, 80 euros?
80.
Something like that?
80.
Yeah. It's a pair of fucking shoes. Ridiculous.
You're right. You were right, though.
When I was off the way, right? Saw a suit for like €94. Like, is
walk
that what
a mile
games
in
become?
these.
Yeah. Walk a mile in a developer's shoes, and you could have bought the game you made. Anyway, yeah. So look, some great stuff in the showcase, but as a showcase overall, didn't quite pack the punch that we were kind of hoping for. I feel personally. But other people might feel differently, and they might feel that every game just knocked it out of the park for them. So let us know if you're one of those people. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what you thought of each game that was shown. What were your favorites? Or if you're in a similar boat to us where you wanted to see more, what else did you want to see? What would have made it the absolute fucking best showcase for you personally? Let us know in the comments, or let us know on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take. But before we finish up today's episode, I would also like to touch base with you guys, because I haven't talked to you about this at all, and I want to talk about it in some regard. But just there not long ago, Adam, you mentioned a trailer doing its job is one that pumps you up for something, and I'm wondering if this trailer did its job for you guys. We have spoken privately about this before, but on the same day as the PlayStation Showcase, the Matrix Resurrections trailer dropped. I know this is a movie, it's not a video game, but given the date in which dropped, and also given that the Matrix itself is like so connected with like gaming, I feel like it is a simulation. There's so many themes you can draw between them. I just feel like it's something worth talking about here. What did you think of the trailer? And I don't think any of us were that excited for the Matrix 4 this year.
I was
all worried about it. I think. Yeah. So has this trailer, now that we finally see something, I'm still shocked it's coming this year, actually, because I kind of thought at this point it definitely wasn't. But has are you now excited for it or what?
I definitely am. This is there's a couple of films coming out where I'm just like, I'm gonna wait it out and see if it like comes to Netflix or something, right? I'm just not that. I just don't care that much. This I'm going to the cinema to see this. I really want to see this film. I'm really, really surprised by how well it looks for something that's like coming out this year, and this is our first time seeing the trailer. Like, normally if a film looks that good, they're going to be like showing that shit all year.
All the time.
You know, they're going to piss you off with that trailer, you know, throughout the year. But yeah, I think it looks really good.
Eric, how about you?
I think the action looks fine, but I think all the philosophical shit they're tackling in it looks great.
Well, yeah. I hope they go a little bit deeper with the philosophy.
But I do feel like they should call it reboot.
I said it day one. The Matrix 4 should be called The Matrix Rebooted. It's still the better title. Resurrections is not as good a title, I have to be honest.
No.
But it's fine. It's fine. It serves its purpose. But I mean,
it might suit the story a bit better.
They missed an opportunity, though, didn't they? Like, they'll never get that again, because hopefully they'll never have a gap this long again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also some faith has been restored. I was very worried about this, especially always hearing that it was coming this year and having seen nothing about it.
Yeah.
I was like, that gives me reason to be cautious. And having seen this trailer, I'm really interested. And I am so hoping I get to see it day one. Like, I don't want to wait a single day. As soon as it's out, I want to see it on a big screen. I don't want to see any possible spoilers. I feel like there's some really fucking interesting shit in there. Yeah. And some amazing consistency.
Yes.
In that.
Hell
yes.
Yeah.
Right? Because I saw a few people, and like, they're right to give out. They really are. In that, if they're more familiar with the first movie and not as much with the other two, which, let's face it, have not been as rewatched as the first one, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I've seen a few people like give out that it's like, where's the green tint? It just doesn't look like the Matrix. It's like, because at the end of the Matrix Revolutions, the green tint is gone. They rebooted the Matrix and it's bright.
Well, Satie repainted
Satie created that for Neo.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a brighter Matrix. It's not.
But it does look like throughout that trailer, it gets its green tone again when they're being chased by those agents.
Yeah, there's definitely elements of it.
Yeah. So it might be that the more he starts to wake up out of it, that it starts to go back into regular Matrix mode.
I like that they have the agents back and shit, and
it's
Agent, what's his name, Johnson.
Agent Johnson is back.
Yeah, he's back.
That's fantastic.
Same actor and everything. What do you guys think of the use of the blue pills as medication?
That's great as well.
Because some serious Equilibrium vibes, isn't there?
Yeah, I love it though.
But like that for me is like back into that kind of philosophy shit of like, because it's very popular in America of like everyone needing to go see a therapist and get all these pills. And,
everywhere, really? Everywhere.
Well, yeah, everywhere. But it's when it comes, because America dominates the sort of media and social media aspect in a lot of their shows and films, that have characters going to see therapy, and it's almost like this is okay. Yeah, obviously you have the sort of like, it's okay to seek help.
Yeah.
So it's the fact that Neo is going to see, well, Neil Patrick Harris' character, who's a therapist, who's then feeding him the blue pills. Some really good shit there.
Well, I also got like, so blue is obviously a very primary color for social media.
Oh, like Facebook and Twitter and
and then everyone's on their social media
on their phone. Everyone's plugged in.
Yeah,
basically. I always thought that if they ever revisited the Matrix now, they have to touch on it as social media nowadays or something like that. Like there has to be an element of that in this movie. And
that's what I was always worried about, was like, oh, if they're going to do another Matrix, is it just going to be another, like the way the John Wick movies went? Is it just going to be just more action? It's like, how do you make a Matrix for today's world? And like, that's it. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And I like the idea that
it looks like Thomas Anderson works for an IT company still, but now it's a modern IT company, and they don't wear suits and ties, and they're in like real modern fucking offices, and they're all on their phones and shit, and he wears like a beanie hat and everything, like. I was like,
but I like again, like he lives in like a penthouse, and again, very common with that idea, like people living in penthouses going to see therapy and then taking drugs and shit to help them out and stuff, and he's lying in the bath with the duck on his head and crap. Like it looked like a really interesting drama set like in the world of the Matrix.
Like. Yeah. He was like a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually it's almost strange that they even decided to bring back Neo and Trinity as characters, because they could literally use anyone. Like just the story alone looks fine.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool, like the blue glasses on the therapist and the red glasses on the one in, I assume it's a coffee shop or something, the one that's reading Alice in Wonderland.
Do you think that's the Oracle?
I mean, it could be. It could be.
I think it is. She changes how she looks and stuff.
Yeah.
And those glasses were so similar to the glasses of the first Oracle. I think it could be. She kind of looked like her.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I'm also really intrigued by who that guy is at the end, who was like, back to where it all began, man. Back to the Matrix. It's like, are they openly talking about it? Do they know they're in it? And they're choosing to take the blue pills so that they can stay in it? Is it a thing of like, maybe the machines made a peace truce with humans?
Yeah, like you have a choice.
Want them to stay plugged in. It's like, yeah, you have a choice. You don't have to stay here, but life is better here, isn't it? Like, we'll look after you if you stay here.
Yeah.
Like, come back to the Matrix, guys.
Yeah. I mean,
I wonder, like,
you don't have to have a Facebook account, but you won't be able to log into this thing if you don't.
That's what I mean. Like, I wonder if there's people who actually like they log into the Matrix because life is better.
Could be, yeah.
And if that's what it is, that's sick. The other theory I had, though, was that no one in this movie except Neo is real. That it's a Matrix built only for him.
Well, I don't know.
Because I do not...
Like, Trinity doesn't look real.
Trinity's not real.
No.
Trinity is so dead.
I mean, you can see the code, so...
Yeah, I think they gave that away. That's it.
But I do think the Resurrections title is around her, though, not Neo.
Possibly. Yeah, it's possibly that. But also, the fuck is going on in Morpheus, guys? What's that about?
Is that
is
actually
the weirdest?
Him? I've seen... Like, I didn't think that for a second until I saw people talking about it.
Well, okay, so not only is he absolutely dressed as Morpheus,
not only is he him,
not only is he like cosplaying as Morpheus when he's giving him the pills. He's got the same shades and everything.
Yeah.
But then he put out that actor put out a tweet with the picture of him in that movie, and all he wrote was Morpheus. So, yes, he is Morpheus.
I don't know.
What the fuck is going on there?
Yeah, that's a bit. I guess we'll just have to find out.
Like, do you think for a second, are either of you convinced that Lawrence Fishburne is genuinely not in this movie?
Yes.
I think it would be...
you are convinced he's not?
It'd be very unfortunate if he wasn't.
Yeah, I do as well. Because as he says it, he never got a phone call.
Yeah, I say he's...
I
think he's not.
Oh, man.
That's rude.
Because I kind of had a thought that maybe, the way as he explains it, does he call it residual self-image?
Yeah.
Is like when he's explaining to Neo, you've got your hair back, you've no plugs, like it's kind of how you see yourself. I kind of wonder if in the real world, like a lot of time has passed, Morpheus is much older, like really old. But when he's in the Matrix, he can be young again.
Because he's projecting himself that way. I mean, yeah, I kind of
so
thought
this
that...
younger actor, instead of doing a de-aging bullshit, this younger actor is playing the residual self-image of Morpheus, who is actually still alive.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If that's the
I
case,
think
you'd have to have Lawrence then, wouldn't you?
That's what I mean. Like, I wonder, will they finally get out to the real world and there he is, and the surprise is he's old and decrepit or something.
Or no,
unless the role of the Morpheus is that it's like a constant, like it's predetermined destiny as much as
like the Matrix will shape someone to be Morpheus.
Yeah, every time.
But he'll always think it was his choice.
Yeah. Because that's like one of the beauties of the Matrix trilogy. Really, is this like the whole idea about destiny is like, can you make choices or are they made for you? And I would love to see that weaved in there somewhere.
Well, that's what, like, someone made a really cool kind of observation as they were talking about the trailer, which was that so in the original Matrix trilogy, it's the sixth incarnation of the Matrix, and every time the one who is the anomaly gets to the point where they return the code back to the source, and then they reboot the Matrix to start again.
Yeah.
Right? Only this time Neo did not do that and chose love instead. He chose the like human side of himself rather than the kind of machine part of himself or the coding part of himself.
Yeah.
So they found that there was this one thing that they can't control, which is love. They can't predict it, and they can't. So then someone brought it, was like, what if then in this movie it's like, this is the one way to control the one. He loves her so much, we need a coded version of her that we control to manipulate that part of him, which is the part we can't control, which is his love. And I was like, that's sick, bro.
That is pretty cool. I'd say that's probably what they're doing. It's like she's so well replicated that it's like her as a program becomes somewhat self-aware, and therefore she becomes an exile, which is why the agents are probably
they're hunting her.
Yeah,
or because he can like rewrite the Matrix, like his own memories form her or something like that. Like he
like
unknowingly
when they shake hands, it's like as if they transfer the data.
He puts his memories into her code or something like that. Like something like there's so much cool shit you can do with the Matrix, man.
Yeah. I actually really loved the kind of the slight superhero touch that they have going on there. Like he's a little bit more like the modern comic book, the way they've depicted his powers and stuff like that. And I just think it translates well into the way, like it modernizes it in a way that it fits well, but not that it can't happen. That's the one thing. That's the beauty of the Matrix, is that like you can do anything because it's computer simulation. So
I am a little worried about martial arts being a thing in it, though. That's the only thing I'm actually worried about. I feel like as the movies went on originally, martial arts became less of a factor, and I saw very little signs of that in this. There was lots of cool visual effects, and there was lots of cool, looks like there's going to be a lot of cool action scenes. And yes, I'm here for the philosophy more, but I would love to see some great choreographed martial arts sequences too. And I don't know if there will be very many, very much of that. That's the only thing.
There mightn't be. My one fear is because it did look like the bit where they jump out the window. It looked very CGI to the extent like Matrix Reloaded CGI.
Yeah, like it didn't look great.
That didn't look very good. That could have been just a time restraint rather than
yeah. But then this is coming out.
I just hope they don't
in a couple of months
rely too much on that kind of stuff, because
I hope so too.
Out of it. But I just thought the way he redirected the missile towards the helicopter, like
that was
great.
Because it was so like, okay, you've got the abilities of 2 and 3, but it's got the visceral action of the first one almost.
Yeah, I got that sense, all right, definitely.
And even the way he stopped bullets, it's like, it's not as elegant as Reloaded. It's a little bit more he has to try.
It's like he's in the Matrix 1, but inside him he already has the power levels of the Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah.
But he's finding it all again.
Yeah.
So like in his desperate please don't shoot me, he actually is able to stop every bullet,
Yeah, so he does it it looks like he's doing it to protect Trinity.
Yeah.
So it actually very much is like a superhero movie.
Yeah.
It fits well in the modern world, considering we have fucking 4 of them out a year. We have 4 out next year. 4 Marvel fucking superhero movies out next year. Jesus Christ.
And DC movies too.
Oh Christ, yeah.
Yeah, like for me, this is like it's such a fresh air kind of a thing. It's just it's so great to see something different now. Although it's still superhero-y, it's a bit more like the Unbreakable style superhero. The kind of, it's a bit more I suppose gritty.
I don't
Like it's
know.
dealing
Yeah,
with
gritty
real
and
topics.
slightly realistic. I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah.
Yeah. What did you just think of the song choice for the trailer? Was it a bit on the nose, or was it a good? Did you just like it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought
I thought it was good
fitted
because,
everything that they had.
Yeah, it fit so well, and it was like, you know, it's not the first time they've done that. Like they've always used some sort of song in previous trailers, and then the way they blended into the actual Matrix soundtrack, and it was great
When it swelled
to hear
into it,
that at the end.
yeah.
It was just like, yes,
It got really, really good.
Yeah.
And also, it's so strange that that's a pretty old song, yet it seemed like or felt like it was written
for
this
it.
trailer.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, it did.
Like, but that is, since then I've been listening to that song and I was like, this is a great fucking song. It is. It's really good. It keeps building to the end. It's brilliant. My only actual criticism, though, like a genuine criticism, which I know can't be fixed. So that's why it's a criticism. Everything, like, you know, worrying about whether there's martial arts, I just have to wait and see the film. Or worrying how the special effects will look is like, you have to wait and see the finished film. But the thing that I know will not change, that I don't like, is Neo's hair.
Oh, he's got the John Wick look.
He just looks like John Wick. He doesn't look like Neo.
But he's looked like John Wick since John Wick in everything.
I know that, and I think it would have been nice for this role, because to me, what it came across as, and don't get me wrong, like I know, like, Keanu Reeves is making John Wick movies too, right? It came across to me that it was like, so are you gonna cut your hair for the Matrix? No, I got to keep it for John Wick. And it's like, but this is the Matrix. And it's like, yeah, but John Wick. Like, I'm doing another John Wick though, and it's like, John Wick is fun. This is the fucking Matrix, man. I don't know. Like, for me personally, I'm just like, I didn't really see Thomas Anderson sitting there.
No, I agree. Yeah, I do agree
And
with that.
to me, that's a little bit
But
of a
I've
shame.
kind of felt that with everything he's in.
You know,
Like
because he's rocked that look for so long, now it's just Keanu Reeves and everything.
Correct. Yeah.
And
I hope
and
I hope it is Thomas Anderson in it, because his performance does look a little different.
It does. That is my genuine criticism, is that I didn't see Neo, but I hope that when I'm finally seeing the film and seeing the scenes in context, that by the end of it, I'm like, no, that was Neo. Neo's back.
Yeah. Then again, he has the opportunity to,
You know.
to play the character differently, just because the
Oh,
circumstances are different, and
Yeah.
how the machines are controlling him is different, and things like that. But yeah, there is so much kind of like Truman Show, Equilibrium kind of shit going on there, isn't there?
And I think the real world, or the machine world, or whatever, might look better than it ever has, possibly.
Yeah.
Those sequences looked great. I know you only got quick flashes of it, but they look fucking
like,
awesome.
Even the kind of the bit where it's like the actual guys in the tanks, kind of like that, just looks so really cool. Yeah.
So that stuff could look really good, you know, with modern technology as well. So
They're such terrifying machines.
they really are.
They're terrifyingly efficient. Oh, it'd be cool if the architect was in it again.
Well, that could be him.
You know.
You see, couldn't it? Well, it wouldn't be, would it?
The guy who's like, "Welcome back to the Matrix," could be.
Maybe.
He could be the architect. He's like a real modern architect type now. You know, he's
so at least
cutting
when
edge, like, graphic designer guy.
So at least when he speaks, we'll know what the fuck he's talking about.
You know,
not needed the
Therefore,
source to be
ergo
like,
shall be.
Yeah. Do you think that
vis-a-vis?
Do you think Neil Patrick Harris he's surely a villain then, right?
Well, he's a machine.
he's a program.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that Jada Pinkett Smith is going to be in it.
Right.
This is why it's weird if Lawrence Fishburne isn't. And I've heard that the guy who played the Merovingian is going to be in it.
Ooh, cool.
Fun.
I hope he is.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's
You
the
know,
coolest part of Reloaded, I think.
He's so cool. He's so interesting.
Yeah.
He's such a vile, horrible. Plus, in terms of like,
But just that conversation, I just think it was so fucking cool.
Yeah, it was great.
You had the Oracle telling them one thing regarding choice, and you had him telling them another thing about choice. I just thought that kind of like them trying to decide, like, what the fuck do we do? You know, who do we listen to?
he kind of in that trilogy plays the role of, say, Jabba the Hutt from the Star Wars trilogy.
Yes.
He's this other menacing. He has nothing to do with the Empire. He's a force unto himself, and he runs the underground of the kind of universe. It's fucking cool.
And there's barely any way to bargain with him.
Yeah. So what are you gonna say? Anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this week's podcast episode. But please do let us know if you've seen the Matrix Resurrections trailer, what you think of it. We've spoiled it on you now if you haven't, but I'm sure you have seen it because it's been out everywhere. But let us know what you think about it. Have you any theories going forward, and what do you think about this younger Morpheus and all that other stuff? What do you think about it? Are you looking forward to seeing it? And then also let us know as well about the PlayStation Showcase. I just think of Showcase overall. Which games caught your eye the most, and which other games would you have liked to have seen at it? Please let us know in the comments below if you watch this on YouTube, and also if you're enjoying this, do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell so you know when future content comes out in the future. We'd really appreciate the support. If this is on audio platforms, you can touch base with social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take to give your take on everything you heard today. That's it for us today. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll be talking to you next time.
Bye-bye.